Okay, we're on to the next video series, which is going to be on photography composition. And what that word composition means comes from, how do we compose a photograph? It's essentially how are we arranging what we see in real life into a photograph. So in the last, video series, we were learning about the elements of visual art, so line and shape and all that stuff, color, texture. So now composition really means how do we arrange those elements? How do we use those concepts of line and shape when we started talking about colors and lighting and how do we use those in a photograph to actually make our photograph look more professional than just like a snapshot than if we had just whipped out our phones, took a quick picture, put it back in our pockets, right? How do we really make that difference? And that's essentially what sets apart, professional, even just amateur photography from just taking snapshots is composition. So let's take a look and see what we have here. So just like with our elements of visual art, we're going to have 7 principles of composition. So it's nice and symmetrical there. We have 7 elements, 7 principles of composition. There are actually more, but I like to focus on these ones. These are the main ones, and the other ones tend to be a bit more niche in nature. So we'll just focus on these 7 for now. So let's go through them. First, we have something called the rule of thirds. Next, we have leading lines, which we did talk about already. I mentioned it briefly in the line video from the elements of visual art. So we have leading lines, we have focal point, which you might have heard before, balance, how balanced are our photographs in a few different ways, framing, point of view or POV, and simplicity.